These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? We're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
One, break the wall down. Break down the walls. For those about to rock, and what you want, baby, you know you're Judas and I'm your priest.
These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside hosts...
You did it. Keep pushing. We got this. Name's still the same. Should I take over?
No, I'm gonna do it again.
If I keep doing things for you, you're never gonna learn. You're
God
right.
damn it.
No.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulselbach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are ya?
You know, I hear you suffering from back injuries and just, it's Freudenscheid. Is that the German term?
Freudenscheid?
Yeah, there we go. I don't feel that. I just feel a camaraderie that I'm not the only one whose body is in a perpetual form of decay on this podcast.
It's not even an injury. You know that feeling when a knuckle needs to pop and won't?
Yeah.
I've had that in my back for about 11 months now, and it just won't get better.
That's the excuse I use with the gals. What up?
It's like...
Just build up a pressure, baby.
Oh, God. It's like I just need... And I tried going to a chiropractor a while back. I had never done that before, and that was a fucking failure nightmare, and I'll never do that again. Maybe I just need a massage. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just dying. Maybe this
probably,
is just it.
I would say it's cut into thirds. Have you taken a good dump?
I've been taking perfectly adequate dumps.
Okay. Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to turn just right one of these any day now, and it's going to just, and that'll be the end of it. And then I'll be able to get back to my life again.
There you go. Back to dancing in the park.
Yeah, back to really Fred Astaireing it up.
They're bringing ribbon dancing back to the Olympics. That window hasn't closed, so I'm happy you're...
lead the way.
Holy shit. You picking out unitards or like multicolored fabric amongst like children or parents with their like 6-year-old daughters also picking out unitards.
This is bullshit. They don't have my size at all.
I mean, I know chartreuse isn't like a basic color, but this is the Olympic trials.
I was hoping for a muted tones like a robin egg, but no, it's I'm gonna look like a fucking bachelor apparently.
I pictured you doing a front flip, land into a splits, all while swinging a ribbon on a stick. Thump, wave.
How did this potato man get into this event?
Yeah. I am proof that potato men can sometimes force their bodies into weird positions. My body's flawed in every way. It's failing me in every way, but God, I can still touch my toes pretty easy.
I saw it just the other day.
Ah, you did?
Yep. I was like, God, it's weird to see it. Like, I've always heard about your befuddling flexibility.
Was that in a truck stop or outside a truck stop?
Outside a truck stop.
Just a man touching his toes outside of driving them truckers wild.
Just an overly stuffed teddy bear flexing on these fools.
Cakes by the pound.
Oh, is it somebody's birthday? Jesus.
We're going to have to spray down those trucker showers twice after this.
Man, why are all these shower drains all gummed up?
It must be the delousing powder. Wink, wink.
Get your candles, boys. We got all these cakes.
Oh, boy.
Yep, I remember because our friend Joe and I were walking out of the truck stop when you were doing calisthenics next to the vehicle, and we both were like, "I'll be goddamn! Look at that."
Well, you talk like about once a week. I need to like get a deep stretch, touch my toes, try to do the knuckles to the ground thing to get my back to not like my lower back especially get that good pap.
I've never had back troubles except this year, so this is new. This is a new train wreck now that I'm dealing with. Yeah,
it locks up
great.
and you're You're just stuck. You're like it's like the red light on an Xbox. It's
Yeah,
like, well, I guess I'm done playing.
Well, I guess I can send it back because this is over.
I need new bones, please.
Excuse me, new bones.
New bones right here. Table for one, new bones.
Yeah, it's it hasn't like kept me out of the gym or anything. It's just uncomfortable all the time and hurts sometimes.
It's hard to do your bum busters properly if you ain't got lower back support.
I know, right? Yeah.
You can still suck it in real time, but it's hard to truly let loose.
How am I going to blast these buns?
How do you expect me to pick up coins with my butt if I can't truly do a core workout?
As somebody who worked in a strip club all those years, I've seen money picked up with cheeks more times than I can count, man.
That's a skill.
Yeah,
that's you are working your glutes.
Yeah, they should form a union.
Butt cheek. What's the word I'm looking for? To have that kind of butt cheek control, but there's a better word to
dexterity.
Dexterity, maybe. Like, if you could pick up $1, what can't you do? Could you sign an autograph with your butt cheeks? That'd be incredible.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like,
I bet they're just not adventurous enough to see what else can this thing do.
Right? Can I fly a plane?
To me, if I had that kind of anal dexterity, I would have to test it out. I'd be like Spider-Man when he first finds out his powers, like jumping off buildings and shit.
It shows the difference in how brains work. I pictured the pen being between the cheeks. You're going right up the party hole.
Well, I think that you're gonna have to use it all. So
you're right. You can't. I blanch at the more blue material sometimes. Hey, you got to go for it sometimes.
Like, you do whatever works, but I'm gonna use every part of this buffalo.
Yeah. You can let your own hang-ups are going to prevent you from painting a beautiful picture with your butt.
Like an elephant, those elephants that paint.
Strippers fucking squatting over an 8-foot by 8-foot canvas and just painting something marvelous.
Is that Van Gogh's sunflowers you've done there?
That is delightful.
I don't know. You tell me. I can't see.
Yeah. I got glitter in my eyes. It was big iron last night.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, you know who doesn't paint pictures with their ass cheeks, as far as I know?
Most people?
The Simpsons.
Oh, sure. Yeah, probably them too. I think they'd fall into that.
We're deep into season 17.
You got it.
You did it. Kind of right. We're about as close to the halfway point as we're ever going to be with this show. I mean, as they keep putting out episodes, we're going to be in that halfway point for the next few episodes, but we're there.
Have you thought about this? We're going to catch this show at some point.
Think of
because
that.
I don't think they're going off the air anytime soon. And what are we going to do then? I have no fucking clue.
All of our higher-ups are going to have a meeting. They'll bring us in, bring us talent in, all the suits. Like, boys, you're hot, you're red hot, but we're just out of episodes. So
yeah, what are we going to do?
Back to janitorial for you two.
Yeah, wait until they hit Disney Plus and you guys can do another one.
Yeah, we'll be clapping like fucking circus seals. It's our time to shine. We are starting off today's batch with episode 16, $1 Million AB. NFL announces they're adding a franchise, and Homer vows to bring it to Springfield, which is clearly met with the laughter from his family because they know that he's a fucking dope. And we get a great Maggie scene where she takes out her pacifier and babbles. I think I wrote it down right as bald mommy is sure to fail.
Yep.
Which is so good.
I noted that's funny, but boy, I hope we don't do that very often. Don't make a habit of subtitling Maggie.
Oh, I
you
see
know
what
I mean?
I see what you're
like
saying.
The actual act of it, I was like, okay, that was funny, but don't do that again.
You're right. That would be kind of like, yeah. It would, if it got to be a recurring thing, it's like, okay.
If it happened every episode, I'd be like, no.
I think the beauty of Maggie is that she doesn't speak.
Right.
It's just,
But still emotes.
Yep,
still lets you know what she's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Homer then goes into the basement and creates a big layout of his plan with the stadium and like the naming rights. He actually put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
And Marge is weirdly like proud and turned on by it. What a weird thing, man.
Listen, if you were married to Homer Simpson and he just fucking tripped over his dick all the time, wouldn't you get a little razzle-dazzle when he did something right?
Yeah, when he isn't an abject failure, man. That bar is set so low. That's some kind of Stockholm syndrome.
I think that would stir your loins if you were in Marge's position.
So who am I to judge? They've been married at this point over a decade. Good for them.
You find the spice where you can get it, I'd imagine.
Then we get a cut to the NFL owners meeting to decide that to choose a city because they're only bringing in one new franchise. I'm trying to think how many football franchises there would have been 2006-ish. Would we have had the same batch? Yeah.
Maybe not the Texans yet?
Oh, would we have the... God, man, if we haven't, we're damn close.
We'd have had the Titans.
Yep, Titans were just a move. They were the Oilers.
Yeah, they were Houston. Yeah.
Cleveland came around because, they left to Baltimore. They got a team back in the late 90s. I think we would have had Houston by this point.
Think so?
But, I mean, they're 1 or 2 or 3 years old, I bet.
Yeah,
Yep.
Houston's the last, new team, right?
So, yeah. So the NFL is at almost 2 decades of no new teams, which you get to that number 32. It's hard to move past it. It's mathematically pleasing to the eye.
Yep. Four divisions, 4 per division. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I don't think baseball's added a team in the 21st century. We got
would it be Arizona the last
Tampa.
one?
Arizona and Tampa.
Yeah, at the same
they were the
time.
late 90s.
Yeah.
So, basketball, the Bobcats, which became the Hornets again. But even that's been...
And the Pelicans in there also.
Well, the Pelicans were the old Hornets.
Charlotte, yeah.
So even the NBA is about 18 years. Fucking hockey. You and I right now could pass a hat around downtown Fargo, and Fargo would have an NHL franchise.
Oh, yeah.
They'd say no. They don't say no.
They should do. We already have a pretty nice hockey arena
bring it in.
town.
Yeah, bring it in.
Do it.
Yeah, Moorhead can have one too. We can have a cross river rivalry.
Yeah, hockey's big in this town already with Moorhead. So
So we had the Kraken. But now they say that NHL had a crazy expansion in the 90s. They added 8 teams. But then, hockey just had a downturn. They lost the whole season to that lockout or strike.
05, yeah.
And then they might have went a good while without they had a lot of teams move, but then I think they plan to add one more. I think that would bring them up to 32. Am I right?
I think they hit 32 now with Seattle because they added Las Vegas.
Oh, that's
2
what
years
it was.
ago.
Yep. Look. So they added L.A. and Seattle. Kansas City was in the running. Poor Kansas City. They just want a winter sport. Want something to do with it in January.
Something besides eat barbecue and look at each other.
Yeah. So the NFL owners are trying to break it down. Where do they want to move a team? L.A. or Springfield? Because at this time, L.A. doesn't have a team. There's that decade, 15-year run where there was no team in L.A.
Because there shouldn't be. They keep trying to force L.A. to like football, and L.A. doesn't.
I think one team. They're a good. I think the Rams are a hit.
Yeah.
Chargers, it's ridiculous, insanity that the Chargers play in a stadium where they probably hold county-wide rummage sales on the Saturdays. Nobody goes, nobody cares. It's insane.
Yeah.
So they have the L.A. Rob Reiner narrates a video of why they should come play in L.A.
My favorite bit in that video is him changing Hollywood stars to his own name.
Yeah, well, one is his dad, isn't it?
Yeah, one's Carl Reiner, and he puts Rob over Carl, and another is Rob Lowe. He puts Reiner over Lowe.
Good. Yeah, that's the move I didn't see coming, and I applaud.
Yeah, likewise. When they did the second one, I was like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, I think Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner. There we go. I think he does have the ability to kind of poke fun at himself. I think he's willing to do projects like this a lot.
I think Rob Reiner's a funny guy.
Got a good sense of humor. Yeah. Not too far up his own ass. So the NFL owners, they pretty much dismiss LA out of hand. Because of the Texas oil man, he wants nothing to do with it. So
they're like, why would we put one in LA?
So we now have a team, the Springfield Meltdowns. And also, have you noticed they never say the NFL but pro football?
Yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
I don't know what the deal was there.
I wonder why.
I wonder if because Fox has the NFL license, but maybe it's only during football season. Maybe I don't know how those contracts are laid out, obviously.
Is the NFL just super litigious, so they didn't want to poke that bear in any way?
I think it's because of how much fun they make fun of the commissioner, and they didn't want to make it the NFL commissioner directly.
He's the pro football commissioner, is what they call him, yeah. And on that note, perfect timing. There's a huge celebration in Springfield to welcome the Meltdowns, and the NFL commissioner is supposed to be there at any moment to kind of give like an introductory speech and introduce them to the league. But he is lost, and he ends up going to the Simpsons house where they're all at the big event. So it's just Grandpa watching Maggie. And so the commissioner, I think, did he have to make a phone call, or did he have to shit? Or maybe both.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, this is before you could do magic on your cell phone, so he needed to just pull over and pop a squat and get situated. And while this is happening, Grandpa gets spooked by one of those shows on TV that scares old people, convinces them the world's out to kill them. So Grandpa does what he thinks is right by braining the NFL commissioner with a golf club. That would hurt so goddamn bad.
God, think of a golf club.
Oh my God, that would hurt bad. Yeah, I mean, it's a putter. It ain't a drive, but still, that would not be a fun day.
Arguably worse, because that's heavier. Like,
so the
and angular,
right?
Like at least the driver is either flat or round.
Yeah,
There's no edges on it.
Good point. Yeah,
I think I'd rather be hit with a driver.
So the rest of the Simpson family comes home to find the commissioner tied up, and Grandpa pretty satisfied with himself. He thinks he's a crime stopper. They untie the commissioner, who is furious, has all the right in the world to be, and he vows that there will never be a team in Springfield.
There's a scene when the Simpsons are driving home from the botched press conference that the commission never showed up to. They're on their way home, and Lisa's talking about, like, boy, it's really strange that he never showed up. And Homer's line is, maybe he's thinking of a new shape for the football, which is so funny to me that's what Homer thinks the commissioner does.
Yeah, like that level of change is what the commissioner's in charge of.
Yeah, like he's just sitting at home with graph paper, like, I don't know, kind of a star shape.
I did like that, since the commissioner was there, Mayor Quimby was forced to try to like ad lib.
Try to stretch, yeah.
What was it? I ever tell you that the time I got lost in that airport?
Yeah,
yes.
You have. Oh, yeah? Well, what airport was it? Such and such in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's just dejected. So now, a pretty quick switch in the show. The word gets out what happened to the commissioner, that the team isn't going to happen. So Grandpa Simpson is a pariah in the Springfield community. Nobody wants him there. Nobody likes him. Basically leads him, I think it's the Jewish old folks home person.
Yeah, he has to have a name, doesn't he?
I don't know if he does.
I don't think we've ever heard it.
I don't know if we have yet. Yeah. And he gives him a card, kind of introduces him to like basically a Dr. Kevorkian-esque.
And like an assisted suicide doctor.
Yep.
Which this feels late.
Yeah.
To the assisted suicide hubbub.
That's exactly my note. It's like that was a late 90s.
Wasn't that in the late 90s? Yeah.
Mid to late 90s. Yeah. Dr. Kevorkian. You're right though. This is like almost a decade late for that. But I mean, I don't know, maybe it was still kind of in the news at that point.
Who knows? I mean, you still knew what they're talking about, so.
So Grandpa goes in to kind of check it out. He basically just kind of gets talked into killing himself. So they get him all hooked up, get him on the bed.
On the dipod.
Yeah. He has an option. It's Glenn Miller he wants to hear, and he wants footage of cops beating hippies.
Yeah, that's how he wants to go out.
That's what he wants to be looking at when they finally juice him up. And
I love that the three options on the dipod are peaceful death, slow agonizing death, and mega death.
Yeah, that was a good play there.
Fun to see an old iPod with a click wheel too.
From what I've been told, iPods are holding their value, if not increasing. Because they don't make them anymore.
Sure.
And people like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I did not know that. Like,
I had one longer than most of my friends did because I had just an enormous storage capacity one that I used in the strip club so I had a lot of music that was mine that I would play up there, and to hook it up to the computer in the DJ booth, I could have done it with my phone, but it would have been super inconvenient to then use my phone. So like I would just have this iPod full and stick it in the back and plug it in and just use that. And again, had a stupid amount of storage. So I held on to an iPad Touch for a long time.
And I think it's like a lot of like nowadays it's a lot of like real deep music dorks that the stuff they listen to can't all be found on Spotify, which how is that even happening anymore?
Yeah, like every once in a while, I bet like
everyone. That's true.
I bet 3 times a year I search for a song that's not on Spotify, and I'm just like, God damn it!
Who's left for big artists?
Garth Brooks.
Is he pretty much it?
He's pretty much it. Kid Rock was a holdout for a long time. Metallica and Tool were both big holdout for a long time.
Jay-Z, because Jay-Z was tits deep with Tidal.
Some of Jay-Z's stuff still not on there.
Interesting. How about Jack White then? I wonder if all of his stuff is on there. He was a Tidal guy.
He is still a Tidal guy, but I think all of his stuff is on there. Tidal eventually became, I think once the people who own Tidal realized, oh, no one's going to like sign up for both of these.
Yeah.
They put all their stuff on all the other services, but then put like higher quality audio and bonus content on Tidal.
Interesting.
Then became I know Tidal's big with people who really, really give a shit about like uncompressed, like pure audio files.
Interesting.
Like you can get FLAC files on Tidal.
Yeah.
You can't get a FLAC file on
interesting.
Spotify.
I did not know that, man. Garth Brooks fighting the good fight, huh?
Yeah, well, he's also like the majority shareholder of some, I think it's called Ghost Tunes, like some fucking streaming service no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
The only reason I know of it is because there's like, when I went to his concert a few years ago, there's just a giant logo for it up on the stage up until the show starts. And I looked up like, what the fuck is this thing? Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Garth has an iron grip. Like, try to look up Garth Brooks on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Like he snipes that shit down.
It's a sad, lonely man singing a cover of a Garth Brooks song. Is what you get. You don't get Garth Brooks
or a chiptune like video game version of Standing Outside the Fire. If you do want to like sign up for a free Tidal thing, my favorite thing on it, because I had a Tidal subscription for a while. The concert that Jack White did at the Fargo Theater is on there.
Video too. It ain't just audio.
Yeah, it's the video of it, and that's fucking fantastic. That's like if you haven't burned make up an email address and get a fucking 7-day trial and watch that because it's great.
Woke up at like 5:30 a.m. to try to get tickets for that.
I was coming back into town from telling jokes in Duluth. And like they still hadn't announced it yet, but it was pretty much a known thing.
Yeah.
I got back into town at like 3:30. I had buddies in line already, and they're like, "Come out!" And I'm like, "I just drove fucking 6 hours from Duluth. I've been on the road all day, So I was like, I gotta go home and try to get some sleep. So I woke up at 8. Went, stood in line for 5 hours, got horribly sunburnt, and didn't come within a half mile of getting tickets.
Everyone knew it was either going to be that Saturday or that Sunday. And that Saturday is when I got in line. We waited, and then it's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It's like, well, fucking great. And then we just got pitifully day drunk. And then I was so destroyed. I was like I would have needed a gurney to get down there. Like
I would have loved to have gone that. That's a regret in life. Like I should have just fucking gone. I was awake anyway. I could have slept on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I ain't above it.
So Grandpa is seconds away from death when the cops burst in to announce that assisted suicide has been outlawed in Springfield. So Grandpa's still with us and takes that second chance at life to become a fucking matador. Did not see that swerve coming.
He wakes up and thinks he's dead. Goes wandering through town. And that's fun. And then, has his, I'm going to live life to my fullest now. I love the scene when we get a couple of him like doing fun young people shit because he can now, like eating saltwater taffy in the grocery store. There's one where it's the 3 bullies in the skate park up along the rim on their fucking skateboards, and Grandpa comes whipping through there on his rascal and hits the half pipe, and as he's coming back down shouts, "You're all gonna die in a pointless war," and laughs at him.
Jesus, yeah,
Holy
oh my
shit.
fucking God.
Right
the whole
damn it, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's some biting commentary. Then I do like how he finds that he's not alive by going to that fancy restaurant, and the rest of the Simpsons are there. It's like, you're all dead.
You're
too.
all dead
Like,
too?
like,
No,
what?
and neither are you. What are you talking about?
So they explain to Grandpa, hey, like, because they had no idea he was that down on the dumps. So he again has a second chance in life, becomes a matador, because I think it's one of the kind of like the tough, cool guys at the old folks home is spearheading it. With
It's the leader of the souvenir jacket squad.
Planet Hollywood jacket guy. Yep.
And they're trying to figure out what to do with this NFL stadium they built.
So now
So why not
bullfighting.
bullfighting?
Yeah. Which obviously Lisa's against. She does not want them to harm animals. Gonna say though, Grandpa looks pretty boss in that matador costume, man.
Yeah.
You want to look dignified. You gotta get yourself. I mean, I would look like a clown.
I thought that you and I should both get matador costumes.
Yep. Holy.
Something about a matador costume, like if you like at first glance, if I see a matador costume, I'm like, that looks like a mariachi band member wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Yep, right?
It's that silly hat
The
that
hat,
really
man.
throws it.
There's no other hat. It's no other hat you could use. They have to have that
You guys
silly of a
couldn't
hat.
have
huh?
a cowboy hat or something.
A beret.
No
Something-
hat.
Yep,
How about no hat?
too? Yeah,
like that would be fine.
Yep.
There's something about the fucking silly hat that really. You ever watch any footage of bullfights, like real deal bullfights?
A little bit, yeah.
It's
they got the
barbaric.
spears hanging out the back and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, ooh, boy.
Like the ole part is very cool.
Yep.
But it's like, how about once the bull's tired, everyone just goes home?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that we need to do this thing where we run it to death and then stab it.
Am I wrong? Because they're using more like their bulls aren't just jacked up on GMO corn like ours are. Just think they're like they don't got them Brian Urlacher bulls like we have around here. They're more normal looking bull. I mean, I still don't want to.
A bull is a bull at some point. Yeah,
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't think I could take one.
Nathan gets in there, just fucking headlocks it.
Dude, he put a bull in a half Nelson. They don't got the bone structure for that. Like, really handling that bull.
Pretty sure if you got a bull into a half Nelson, you'd kill it.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, or just ruin its life.
I don't think them legs bend that way.
What I didn't see coming is Grandpa does kill a bull or two.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, he's good at this.
Yeah.
He's weirdly good at being
Like,
a
cause
fucking matador.
he does the dancing thing, and then like the bull is tired and collapses and looks all pitiful and helpless and cute, and then they show Grandpa with the sword, and then he thrusts it and it cuts away. So I was like, okay, he didn't kill the bull.
but he did.
Oh, he sure fucking did. Like,
Perhaps, I think we're led to believe maybe one or two more.
yeah, like you see him like the next day when Lisa comes to say how disappointed she is. He wipes the sweat off his brow with its tail.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, we really did have Grandpa just go for it.
So Lisa pleads her case yet again. I think she's outside playing acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Trying to convince them not to do it. And this time around, though, Grandpa, the crowd is cheering. He just looks at the crowd. They're all just bloodthirsty jackals. And this is the time that he refuses to kill the bull and ends up releasing the bulls from the stadium where they wreak havoc throughout Springfield.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. That was a
Big fan. Yep. I love seeing Gil with his fancy new red blazer.
Yeah.
And Luigi. Luigi's pushing that wheelbarrow full of veal.
Yeah. I did like in this episode we get both an REM song and a John Lennon song. So they must have some slush fund money they needed to burn up. Let's get a couple big label artists.
We got to torch it before the end of the season or we don't get it back next year. It's like government funding.
Yeah. That's a fine episode.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't know what it is because, like, I don't really care for actual bullfighting, but there's something about when bullfighting shows up in things, I'm like, that's cool.
It's a weird phenomenon. Like,
yeah.
Because it's one of the few sports that doesn't happen here.
Right. I feel about bullfighting the way I feel about highlight. Like, I don't want to watch it, but I think it's cool when it shows up in things.
I think we've discussed this, that at some point in the late 70s or early 80s, someone in America thought highlight was going to be the next big thing. Because for some reason, my school in rural North Dakota had a bunch of beat up old highlight equipment. It's like, and no one had an answer for it. Just some black Suburbans showed up and dropped a bunch of
highlight scoops.
Yeah. It was like, what do we do with these? Oh, you can fling shit at kids that don't want shit flung at them. That's going to hurt them real bad.
We're going to be in your corner of the state this weekend. We should stop by and see if the school still has any of that. I would love to come home with a highlight scoop just to hang it on my wall like a gun.
Have multiple, like for different highlight
Get
emergencies.
Two and cross them like swords. There's a fun, like, different take on bullfighting that I've seen video of in Southern California, where it's like there's no killing, obviously, but it's like half part bullfighting, part just regular rodeo clowning, and part parkour. These like super fit fucking CrossFit kids getting all dressed up and like jumping over a bull for a while it charges you, or just flat-footed hopping into the air and running across its back while it's trying to murder you. Like, that shit is fun to watch. I'm a big fan of that kind of thing, so maybe we can keep doing more of that.
Maybe we can get in good enough shape where we can do that.
Or we could just do it now. Fuck getting in shape.
Yeah.
Fuck that hard part. Get out there.
Yeah. Oof. Oh boy. If I jumped and timed it right, I mean, it would probably kill me, but that bull wouldn't have a good next day either. I think flinging my butt, I mean, it's still going to have a day, but I'm not going to have a day. That bull would be beat. I'd have to go get some, I don't know, Doan's back pills or something.
He would know that he put some work in. Yeah. Episode 17 is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Galore. Note number 1, that's a fucking great movie that more people should see.
That's my note too. Highly recommend it.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is so fucking funny.
Yeah. That was one of those movies I heard a bunch of people talk about, and this was still when you could rent DVDs. Like, I was at a store, nothing appealed to me. Fuck it. It's now at this point, it's not a new release. It's 99 cents, and fucking awesome.
Val Kilmer in that movie is so great.
Another movie that came out roughly around the same time, I believe, that I put in that same boat, we're like, I didn't expect this to be that good, was a movie called The Matador with Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't even really remember the premise, except I think Pierce Brosnan is like a past his prime assassin, and Greg Kinnear is just a guy, but they somehow, their paths cross while on vacation. I just remember, that fucking movie was terrific.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't think I have a good reason, but I don't care for Greg Kinnear at all.
Oh, interesting, really?
Yeah. I saw him in that fucking Stuck on You movie with Matt Damon that's horrible. And I saw... what's the Jack Nicholson fucking...
As Good as It Gets?
That's the one.
Oh, see,
I was like,
that
I don't
movie.
like him in that either.
Really? Yeah.
Those might be the only two I've seen, but he's 0 for 2, so I've never given him another chance.
How many more chances does a man get?
None.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Eat shit, Greg.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else Greg Kinnear, what his biggest roles would be.
I was about to say, what are the other must-sees on the Greg Kinnear IMDb?
In the mid to late 90s, around that, he, I think, starred, where he was the face on the poster of a couple kind of romantic comedy type movies.
That's the folder my brain puts him in.
I was thinking there was a movie called Dear God, where it's like someone starts answering the letters that crazy people write to God and send in the mail.
Okay.
But that's all I remember of that premise.
That just sounds like Bruce Almighty, but not funny.
Yeah. But I've liked it. I've seen him pop up in a few different things. When I see Greg Kinnear and stuff, and I'm not like, oh, rats. Let's see where this goes.
That's me. I'm like, this movie's starting in the hole.
Greg Kinnear, the very first host of Talk Soup, which ran for like 20 years. I think it's just...
Yeah.
I think it's done now.
I just know the Joel McHale years.
Yep. It was him, I think a guy named like Rob Hansen. Hal Sparks was the host for a while.
Wow.
There's a Hal Sparks run, and then Joel McHale kind of revived it.
The Soup.
Yeah. Well, because talk shows weren't as relevant anymore, so they dropped the talk aspect. Greg Kinnear also hosted a after Conan show. It was later. He was before Carson Daly.
Okay.
Yep. And it was the original host, Bob Costas. Sports announcer Bob Costas.
Doing a late night talk show?
Where it was real laid back and chill. One guest, and they would go as long as it took. They would do 4 episodes with the same person, which I think is a great concept.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Martin Scorsese's here? Keep the fucking cameras rolling. We'll edit it later.
Why would we stop him? Yeah.
The Bob Costas one was terrific. I think about it, though, I think Greg Kinnear would have one guest, but he'd also have a musical guest, too.
Okay.
Unless I'm fucking up. And the musical guest was also the person he talked to. But, Jesus, this is far more thought than Greg Kinnear's NBC talk show in the mid-'90s has gotten in a long time.
I like Bob Costas, though. I bet that was good. Like, just envisioning that. Like, Bob Costas doing a Letterman show? Yeah.
I've watched him talk about it. He takes pride in the fact that, like, we had a goal. Like, the whole, like... And they would have, like, fucking authors that haven't had a... But they're, like... critically acclaimed, but like, you know, they were big in the 40s. Like, he'd have Gore Vidal on and they'd talk for 5 episodes, you know. Like, he'd get interesting people. He wouldn't just get who was the star, you know, like who's in fucking Dante's Peak or whatever, you know.
What I'm hearing is that I think Bob Costas should have a podcast.
Yeah.
A Bob Costcast.
Yeah.
There's a better way to name that. Yeah, Podcastus. There we go. We got there.
The Podcastcast. We're going too far.
No one can say it. No one knows what it's fucking called, Bob. I like Bob Costas.
He likes you, from what I hear.
Oh, God, if only.
Kisses from Costas.
So we're at the power plant and we get a fantastic video about outsourcing that was very funny. And Burns reveals that he's going to move the plant to India.
You ever worked in a factory type job?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not that I'm like against it, but no, I haven't.
I've had one.
Yeah? Yep. Doing what?
Refixing brake shoes for semis. Remanufacturing. We'd get the old shoe in, clean it up, chop off the old pads, literally boil it, get all the crunk and the junk off in a giant industrial washer. We're all going to die from black lung from this job. Then we pressure blast all the old shit off and then repaint it and then rivet on new pads.
Refurbishing.
Yep. I mean, it was a factory. We could fucking, you know, we'd have pallets full of shit. So, but I mean, it was as loosey-goosey it was the job we all went there because you could call in sick literally every day and not get fired.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, right.
Was this a stand at your workstation, do the same movement over and over and over again, assembly line style?
But the one thing is, there was so few of us. You were hopping around. You do an hour running the rivet gun. You do an hour scraping off the gunk. You do an hour boiling, and then you'd get to.
It's my turn to boil, Dave. Move.
If you lucked out and wrestled the other guy to submission, you could get some forklift work in. Then there was this other insane job where we also did power steering controls for semis. Yeah. And to test them, you sat on a chair with a big truck or steering wheel. You just spun it to the left, spun it to the right. You had to do it like 100 times each way. And I would always sing like trucker anthems the whole time because it was a small enough shop I could bellow through it like, eastbound and down, loaded up and drunk it. We're going to do what they say can be done.
Oh my God. On the road again.
So that's my experience in that kind of work.
I never have, but part of me, and I'm sure that I'm romanticizing and that it's not actually like this, part of me thinks there would be something nice about the simplicity of just repetition. You know what I mean? And I like things that involve like digit dexterity with your hands and your fingers and good hand-eye coordination. Like, that's why I loved doing radio production and like DJing at the strip club so much, because you're always like, click play on this, slide this slider down while slowly putting this one up and turning this knob all at the same time while you're listening to audio from 3 different sources. Like, I like that kind of thing, and I like finding the most efficient way of like, here's how you put your hands to move just this way and that, and here's now I'm moving this mouse with my left hand, which I can barely fucking put a hat on with, but I'm gonna use it. And like, I like that kind of thing, like that kind of control board. Like Homer's office at the power plant looks great. Like I would love to be in there.
Now that you say that, the one thing that rung true for the job I had is like just figuring out what is the quickest, like most expeditious way for me to do this particular task.
Right.
What can I cut out to make this job easier and more streamlined?
Yep.
Stack them this way. Since I'm a left-handed person, I'll stack it this way. I will grab it this way. I'll put them in this order and that kind of shit. So there was a little bit of that. Because right away I was like, that doesn't sound anything like my job. But yeah, there's a little something there.
Yeah, I think so. I think finding the most efficient way to do the same thing over and over and over and over again ad nauseum is like would like tickle the part of my like OCD brain that has to keep my radio volume on an even number at all times.
What I don't miss about that job is the fact that we were in a concrete bunker in the summer wearing clothes no longer air, like they were solid with grease, surrounded by industrial boiling washers. So it was a little bit muggy. Just a tish muggy.
I'm a damp boy.
It was so sick that way. Like did we drink enough water? Because you literally had to, or you would pass out.
You would die.
It was just endless. Yeah.
Union gig?
Oh no!
Oh.
$8 an hour.
Oh,
yeah.
Oof.
We're not fired because no one else will do it. That would have been our motto.
Oh boy. You know what is a union gig? The power plant that Mr. Burns is moving to India. We find this out because, according to law, he has to keep one union employee on the payroll, so he throws a bouquet into the crowd to see who gets to keep their job, and it's the Simpsons, so it's Homer. And in the B story for this one, we have Patty and Selma at MacGyver-Con.
Yeah.
They're throwing literally a 2-person convention for MacGyver.
Is this the first Richard Dean Anderson appearance?
I believe so.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, he plays himself, you know. He shows up and shits on MacGyver. Like, wait a minute, you guys like that show? That show was horrible. Like, I can make a bomb out of some gum or whatever. He's in town to go to a Stargate SG-1 convention across the street at like an amphitheater, like this huge fucking stadium that has this Stargate convention, which I thought was funny.
Yep.
I like the movie Stargate and never watched the show.
I am with you right there. I have done one and not the other. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Seen the movie? That's fine.
It's fine. I don't love Stargate, but it's fine.
I just remember when it was on thinking, this show's successful.
They made a show out of this.
Because like that movie wasn't a smash hit.
Right.
I think it did fine.
It wasn't a blockbuster, but it's got Kurt Russell in it. That's good.
Yeah.
That does a lot.
James Spader, perhaps, also.
Yeah.
I did like early. I think it's when Homer's breaking the news to the family that they're moving to India, that they're in the dining room, and he busts out that cardboard cutout of Mac Tonight.
Yeah, what's that from? I don't know that reference.
I think very late 80s McDonald's advertising where there was a moon man with a giant moon for a head in a suit or tuxedo with sunglasses playing piano. I don't know what if they were introducing a new food, or maybe that they were open later.
Okay.
Could that have been? Hey,
I can see that.
McDonald's,
it's a moon man. Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, you can stay up late and get trash here at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. So I remember as a kid having a solid plastic Mac Tonight figurine, like I'm sure out of a Happy Meal or a rummage sale or something.
Did they try to fold it into the existing McDonald's universe of Grimace and
I do not think so.
Hamburglar and Mayor McCheese?
There is a trade paperback that needs to be made of that storyline.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm pretty sure they did not cross paths.
I want to get as much of that fiction as possible.
I think there's been times in McDonald's history that they have tried to remove themselves from the family thing. Like the whole, this is a place you eat lunch with your kids at. I think they also tried that in the late 90s when they tried to make fancy sandwiches. The Arch Deluxe. Remember the Arch Deluxe?
I remember them doing some fancy-ass chicken sandwiches throughout the years,
I think there was a chicken and a fish deluxe was the plan there. I don't know if that's the name they went with, but they tried to make it more upscale, which Well, last time we saw the Arch Deluxe on the menu. Been a minute.
During the mid to late aughts, maybe early teens, there was they had a family of wraps, of chicken wraps that were fucking good.
Yep.
And the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Bring back the steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
At McDonald's, really?
On breakfast. Bring it back, you cowards.
Can you get the shake salads there anymore? Probably not.
I bet they make a salad still.
In the shaker cup? Which I love.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You used to get you'd get your salad served in a cup like you would get an icy, like a clear cup with a circular lid that would snap on top. The whole concept was you put your salad dressing in and you shake the shit out of it and mix, which I think is a great fucking idea.
Yeah, okay.
I like to get salad dressing touching everything.
Yep, same here.
Like, I hate when it's like, crunch, play, and then you get the one that's just drenched. Like, that was 80% Thousand Island. That's not good.
Was too much oil. So
they were on, and they got ridiculed for it. The shake salads were just, to the point, like, I think they dropped them pretty quick. But
that seems unfair. That seems like a good idea. I remember my favorite, what a fucking conversation we're having. Yep. But one of my favorite things about the chicken wraps, because there was like a Caesar and a buffalo and so on and so forth, but it was like a tortilla full of lettuce and chicken and some other bullshit. My favorite thing was like how much engineering went into the container for it, because it was like a fucking, like, imagine you made a cardboard square or a round cardboard container for a burrito. And it was like, you tore it in the middle the way you tear like a FedEx package open, like it has the ribbon inside, and you tore that in the middle and took the top half off, and that you threw that away. So now you're holding just this bottom half that's just like a cardboard cup with that you're holding your fucking wrap in and eat out of that thing. And I remember like, boy, this seems complicated. You guys could just put this in a wrapper like your sandwiches. Right, yeah. But no, you made this whole thing. You went too far. Marvel. Yeah. It was a legit modern marvel.
I always think like the person that made the McGriddle. Like, you ever stop and think, you know what? I could be building a car that runs off sun power. Like, I have done the impossible
but
here.
Instead, I figured out how to put these little syrup crystals in these tiny pancakes.
And make it tasty,
Yeah, I love me a McGriddle.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty meh on the McDonald's breakfast menu, except for the
really?
McGriddle. Yep.
I am pretty hot on a McDonald's
I think we've had the
menu.
talk. I am more little tots versus big patty when it comes to the potato.
I agree. I'm with you on that, but like, I just don't get the hash brown patty. Like, I'm not interested in it.
Oh, yeah.
So, like honestly, if I go to McDonald's breakfast and get a number 3 or whatever, I usually don't eat the hash brown patty because I'm not into it. But I want soda in the morning because I'm an adult and I'll do what I want, and I want the sandwich.
There you go. Yep.
But more often than not, I'm just going to order 4 sandwiches and just be on my way.
So, we thought this was a little league team. It's just one man.
You open the bag, there's like 30 napkins because they think you got a boatload of kids. Nope, you got one doughy fella on his way to work.
Just shoving Sammy's down his head hole.
Yeah, getting as many of these McMuffins in me as I can.
It's delicious. It's decadent. So good. If we could have you pull forward, sir. Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll savor these little beauties in the parking lot.
Drive through.
Oh. It's fun to eat.
Listening to Civil War podcasts, breathing too heavy.
When General Cornwallis stormed the fort.
That'll be 8:42, sir. Don't act like you know about Sumner.
You're sure sweating a lot for January, sir. I was thinking about.
Come on, pull ahead to the next one.
Tasty little cuties. It'll be coursing through my body soon. It's a beautiful thing.
If I stayed at this window, will you let me eat these in front of you?
He was drinking a big 2 liter of Barks Root beer. It looked room temp.
Holy shit, drinking a 2-liter in your car is the power move. Holy shit.
You gotta pull up and come to a stop while guzzling a thing of Barks and just spit up. Oh shit, had a blowout. And act like that happens a lot. It's like sometimes it just kicks back on you a little bit. Here's my card. Oh, just spitting Barks all over the windows. Your Ford Festiva.
Eyes watering.
Yeah.
Foaming out the nose.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Pull the e-brake.
Oh, good morning.
Oh my God. Folding down the sun visor and wiping your face on it. Let's like rubbing it left to right. Still sticky from the last time.
Oh my God.
So good.
I can't go back to that McDonald's for a while. You ever frequent a gas station or a specific fast food restaurant so often, too many times in a row by accident, that you actively think to yourself, I'm going to go to a different one because these people know me?
I do that right now with McDonald's coffee. I love McDonald's coffee and it's cheap. But I'm like, I don't want to be the lunatic that drives to the McDonald's 3 times in 6 hours and just gets $1 coffee. Like,
I have definitely like back when I worked in radio on that morning show, like, gotten gas station breakfast from the gas station too many times in a row and thought I should make my own breakfast one of these days. I can't keep buying these breakfast burritos every day. They're gonna fucking do a wellness check on me.
It's far too much chorizo for one man to consume on a weekly basis.
Oh shit, get a little self-conscious about it. So Patty and Selma kidnap, is it Richard Dean Anderson?
Yep.
Is that his name?
Minnesota born and bred?
Really? Yeah. Hell of a head of hair in the MacGyver days. So they kidnap him partially because they want him, partially because he badmouthed MacGyver, and they're going to show him a thing or two. At that Stargate convention, like, he's gone, and they're like, we gotta find him. And then the comic book guy is like, plus I heard there's a girl here. And they cut to all the fans, like, surrounding and pouncing on Willie, who's wearing a kilt, just like, I ain't no lass.
Yeah. They don't care.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Ooh.
I don't like the angle that was going for.
Yeah. When they kidnap Richard Dean Anderson, he says, people will know I'm missing. There's a liquor store I go to every morning.
That was good. That's not, they're going to make Richard Dean Anderson a shitbag, and I'm all for that.
Yeah. God, that was funny. So Homer shows up in India. We get some fish out of water gags. Not quite a full on The Simpsons are going to insert destination, but it flirts with that line for sure.
I thought it was going on that road, definitely.
Yeah. Meanwhile, MacGyver has escaped Patty and Selma's custody by pulling some MacGyver shit. He, like, spits out a contact lens and uses the sun refraction through it to burn off his rope, and then slides down on a bra that he finds. And he is, like, into it. And comes back to his captors because it made him feel alive. Yep. Like, now tie me up again and really put your back into it, or whatever he says.
Now he is fully embracing MacGyverism.
Yeah. Back in India, Homer fakes his way through a speech to his employees, and they just patronize him. They're like, we don't know what he's saying, but maybe if we just cheer, he'll let us get back to work. Because every one of those employees in India is smarter than Homer is. Yeah. Burns gonna take off and leave Homer in charge. He does that thing where he's floating down the is it the Ganges River?
Yeah. Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, Smithers, I'm just enjoying a float down the Ganges and with my friends." And Smithers is like, "Sir, those are corpses."
Yeah.
And it pans back, and he's surrounded by floating corpses. And his response is, "Oh, you never like my friends," which is such a great line.
That weird ass dance he does when leaving that cobra basket.
Oh yeah,
That was uncomfortable.
The Axl Rose snake dance. Yeah.
There's no reason for him to do
Nope.
that. That's why I like. Sometimes he's a showman. He got a little bit of that in him.
It also goes on just a little too long. Like there's a few more gyrations than there needs to be.
Yep. Simpsons are good at that, of making a joke go longer than it needs to.
Just barely.
Yeah.
Like they don't go full Family Guy where you get 10-minute fight sequences with Peter and the chicken, but like just a beat too long, and I think that's very funny.
Thinking back to last week with Ned watering the flowers.
Yeah, was singing that song. Yeah. One maybe my favorite that they've ever done is the Sideshow Bob stepping on rakes.
Yep.
Like just a beat too long is all it takes. Patty and Selma are weirdly getting tired of MacGyver because he like shows up to their work like requesting kidnappings now.
Which I like. This is a good move by the writers. Like, now they got to figure out a way to shake Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah, so they do by showing him vacation slides, which is their move, and we haven't seen it in a long time.
Been a hot minute. Yeah.
We also during this episode, I think I've already passed it, but we see. Is it Patty or Selma? I never know which is which. We see the one with her adopted Chinese daughter real briefly.
Yep,
like she just has her. I was like, okay, good. So that is like canon. We're still going with that. I like that. Meanwhile, back in India, Homer thinks he's a god. And this like is a real left turn for this episode.
It has a real like Colonel Kurtz Apocalypse Now vibe.
That's the vibe I
when they
got.
pull in on the flatboat.
Yeah, going through the jungle.
And then it also has like a little Jim Jonesian kind of like.
And I like that they pull up on the boat. It's like Burns and Smithers and the rest of the Simpson family. They're there now apparently. Yeah. And they're like, "Okay, are we coming back to the boat or should we take our stuff with us?" Yeah. And Burns is like, "We'll be coming back, but take your stuff in the meantime because they'll use it for a Dixieland booze cruise while we're here." And that Dixie band comes out.
Yeah, that was good.
Homer, it turns out, like, we all think that he has started some religion and that he's a weird god, demigod type. Yeah. But turns out what he did was accidentally started a union by informing them about, like, weekends and overtime pay and all this. And
pay
sick
time off.
days. Burns, of course, not happy about it, and he's going to be moving the plant back to Springfield and getting rid of all of the employees in India. And then we get, which I was not surprised by, a Bollywood dance number ending.
Knew that was coming.
Yep, kind of knew it the whole time. I was like, if we're doing because this is like most of The Simpsons are going to episode. So I was like, I bet we get a Bollywood ending, and we did.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I thought the episode as a whole was good. I really liked all the Patty and Selma
that's
stuff.
What saved it. That's what saved it.
We don't get Patty and Selma in a prominent role very often. The Homer in India stuff, other than like the workers' jokes, like all the stuff with forming the union and all the outsourcing video in the front did a lot for me.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
As a whole, I enjoyed it.
So we go from that Simpsons trope of the Simpsons are going to insert area here to episode 18 where we get the Simpsons trope of the 3-part story.
Yeah.
Episode's called The Wettest Story Ever Told. The Simpsons go to the Frying Dutchman, but there's no food because the cook is battling an octopus, I think.
Having a knife fight with an octopus. Also, boy, have we not seen the Frying Dutchman in a long time.
Yeah, right?
I was kind of like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. To kill time, the Simpsons and the sea captain try to salvage the night by telling 3 tales of sea disasters. First is Mayflower Madman. Homer is just a skid on the run from the law, and he's hiding. And at the same time, a bunch of pilgrims are getting ready to leave for America. and he's a stowaway, and a widowed Marge kind of takes pity on him and gives him her late husband's clothes to wear.
Yeah.
So he's kind of part of it. And Homer's like, oh, this is my in with this lady. And she's like, you are a dirt person. I don't want nothing to do with you. He's super smitten with her. But she's actually engaged to Mo, who we
Dirtbag
Mo, who it turns out killed her husband, but apparently she does not know that.
I also really like Puritan Ned in this section.
Cut out what he was meant to be, man.
Yeah, as pure as Ned always is. Puritan Ned, a whole different level.
I bet a transatlantic boat trip in the 1600s was torture enough. Imagine with a bunch of pilgrims.
Oof.
Those boring fucking duds.
Who literally just came over here because everyone else was having too much fun.
Yeah, they just hated them. Get out of here, you fucking killjoys.
I don't know where in this episode it is, but I'm going to mention it here because we're kind of talking about it. When Homer at one point shouts, yeah, I gotta help you guys get to America, which you fundamentalist Christians will completely rule by the end of the 20th century, or whatever he says, something along those lines. I was like, oh, Simpsons.
Yep, right on the nose. Yeah. So Mo realizes that Marge is kind of getting a little sweet on Homer, so he pulls a little bit of not really a trick. He just lets him know that there's booze, and Homer, being Homer, gets shithoused and then getting put in the stocks for being a drunkard. But a storm kicks up. Ned is incapacitated during the storm. I think he hits his head.
Yep. Gets bonked.
And Homer lets him know, hey, listen, I've driven drunk many a time. I'm good at it. So they let him out of the stocks. They give him a bottle of wine or something, and he gets wasted and drives the boat to America and wins over Marge in the process. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, they show a brief scene of them having the first Thanksgiving with the Wiggum tribe and being like, I almost feel bad for what we're going to do to you.
Yeah.
And cut to commercial.
I think what might be the only thing I laughed out loud this whole episode was the cut in between back to them at the table.
Yeah.
Is the sea captain bringing them their bill. He's like, we haven't even gotten food yet. Such a fucking awesome move on his part.
For me, my laugh came the next time we come back from commercial.
Okay.
I'll bring that up.
The next one we get is the Wine Bar C. Bart leads a mutiny against Captain Principal Skinner because Skinner keeps worsening and worsening the conditions. There's grumbling. But then there's a little bit of a break because the crew stops in Tahiti. We get a little Weezer, Island in the Sun.
Yeah, we do. And I notated that also. Like, I like this song. I don't like a lot of Weezer songs, but I like Islands in the Sun.
I mean, like most people my age, I don't like a lot of post-Pinkerton Weezer, but that's it. They got a few catchy ones in there.
Like, I don't know enough Weezer to know the albums or anything. I like Islands in the Sun, and I like Dope Nose.
Dope Nose, catchy song. Goddamn right it is.
That's about it, actually.
Oh, that's wild, man. Yeah, I was a Weezer mark for the first two albums.
I could see that.
So the crew is having the time of their life. Marge and Homer are like the king and queen of Tahiti. Like, letting them know, like, hey, have fun while you're here. And the kids, because the crew is all little boys, mostly boys we recognize from camp.
Yeah, it's like the class. It's just all the school kids.
We're gonna
get Wendell.
We get Wendell.
Martin.
We got a little Martin in there.
Nelson, obviously. Is this from it has to be. This is based on a story, right?
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah, okay. It has to be. Yeah.
Which is a book.
Which became a movie.
Okay.
Based on a real story. It's based in truth. There was a mutiny on a ship called the Bounty.
And was it boys or is that for this?
I think that might be made up. Okay. Yeah, because the movie isn't boys, pretty sure. Like the 1950s movie.
Okay.
So they do though eventually have to leave Tahiti. They're back on the ship. And Skinner is still being Skinner and is just a shitbag.
I love what an asshole he is this entire episode.
And then finally Bart kind of leads the mutiny. He becomes the captain, and they kick Skinner and Willie originally are in just a little dinghy, And Skinner's being a jerk to Willie. Willie kicks him out of the boat. It's like, and then it's Skinner riding on a sea turtle.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's like, paddle faster. Like, what are you gonna do? Sink below the surface? And that's exactly
Just
what
being an asshole the whole time. And they show him still on the turtle's back underwater as it's diving, and he's like, "You call this deep?"
Yeah.
Such a great joke that he's still a shithead all the way down.
Yeah. So the kids are all excited. Bart's in charge. They're gonna go back to Tahiti, have the time of their lives, and Bart's a shitty captain. They end up in Antarctica.
Crashed in Antarctica.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where it ends.
Yep.
It's like I suck at this, and that's pretty much it. And our third, was there something what was the interstitial between the second and third? What am I missing?
We come back from commercial. The restaurant is empty except for the Simpson family, still having not received their food. They look out the window and the captain's playing basketball with the kitchen staff outside.
Only 8 more games.
He's just fucking he's got his tank top on, which you never see him in anything but the captain outfit. And he just drains a layup and sees them watching and goes, I'll get your food in a minute.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, that was very good.
God, that was funny.
Our third and final is called Watership Doan. I don't know what these aren't good enough for me to put effort into figuring out how I'm supposed to pronounce that.
It's just the Poseidon Adventure.
Yep, exactly. The Simpsons and a collection of Springfield randos reenact the Poseidon Adventure. You ever see the movie?
I've seen Poseidon Adventure.
Original or remake?
Original. I didn't see Poseidon. I think just Poseidon is the name.
Is that
of the
what it was?
remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've only seen the 70s one.
Yep, same here.
I like it.
Yep, it's a great concept.
Yes.
For a giant ship capsizes and you have to work up through the guts backwards as the ship floods and there's explosions and
it's extremely visually interesting to see everything upside down.
Yep.
Especially in the beginning when they're in the ballroom that's upside down.
Yep.
And I like that everyone is so fucking dressed to the nines because it's New Year's Eve, so you get that.
Right, you're right. Yeah.
I like a lot about that movie. I don't. At the end of the day, I don't love it, but I do think it's very good.
That's and then and thinking back, that was when movies were just in a giant studio.
Yeah.
Think of the man hours to build that. How many carpenters worked around the clock to build those insane sets?
Plus the amount of design that goes into it of we need this to be upside down also. Yeah, that's crazy.
And that was a time too, those movies had a 3 or 4 year run because they even gag on it and they joke.
Yeah.
It's the Towering Inferno with the something. There was a ton of Airport 70, whatever, just these air, ship, sea disaster movies.
That's what Airplane is spoofing is Airport, I think.
Airport, the airport, an airplane disaster movie, yeah. So those were all the rate. And they often, Poseidon Adventure is not quite as much as some of the later ones or earlier ones, but they often have a big cast of faces you recognize.
Yeah.
They might only be on camera for 10 minutes, but just because on the poster it'd be, Burt Lancaster, so-and-so, Elizabeth Taylor, so-and-so. They just wanted to rattle off names was a big thing of that era too.
Yeah, list them on the poster. I like disaster movies. Disaster movies got kind of a restart in the late 90s, early aughts with Roland Emmerich and his movies.
It might be one of his movies. I saw a movie of his within the last 5, not maybe one of his, but it was a Gerard Butler disaster movie. And I remember I don't know, I went with someone else and they wanted to see it. I remember thinking this is going to be terrible, but there was a nostalgic charm to seeing that kind of movie. Was
it one of the White House movies,
Nope.
Olympus movies?
That's right around that time, though.
Okay.
It must not have done well because I hadn't heard a thing about it. But it was some kind of we have to act fast, or maybe it was a global climate one too, a 2012 Day After Tomorrow type movie.
Those are both Roland Emmerich movies. Yeah. He also did the American Godzilla and Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roland Emmerich just likes blowing up landmarks. You know, Armageddon. I love Armageddon, as we've talked about before.
That's a Roland Emmerich?
He
Yeah.
didn't, but
Well, that was a thing, yeah.
around the same time. Blowing up landmarks made me think of that.
So he was doing it at the same time Michael Bay was. Michael Bay loves blowing shit up.
Have you seen the trailer for the upcoming Roland Emmerich film, Moonfall?
No.
In which the moon falls out of the sky.
Terrific.
And we've got to stop it, Nathan.
So we can't make this a Roland Emmerich podcast. We can't do it.
Sure we can. Watch us.
Yeah, there's too many. So where's it going? It's just falling out of orbit?
It's just falling to Earth somehow.
Oh, to Earth.
To
that's
Earth.
because I was like, what is the dilemma? Is it that the tides will be all fucked up?
Judging from the trailer, the moon is going to crash into Earth.
That would fuck things up. I'm not a scientist,
that'd be
but I think
you
that
know, I also not a scientist, but I bet that'd be bad.
and we have discussed this multiple times, the idea or the phenomenon of two movies with the same kind of unique idea come out at the same time, which has to, someone loses their job over.
For sure.
So we've had two meteor movies,
Armageddon and Sudden Impact. Deep Impact.
We had the two random ass magician movies.
The Prestige and The Illusionist.
There were probably 10 years ago, there were two movies where either a new Earth or a new planet just pops up and is going to plop into us. It was that Dutch director Lars von Trier made a movie with Kirsten Dunst where there's this giant new planet shows up on the horizon and it's just I mean, I can't even say if it's a good movie, but I mean, it makes you like, it's a mind fuck like all his shit is. Just the idea that, all we know is going to end. We cannot stop a planet far bigger than Earth and crashing into us. And just how are you going to deal with it? And
Lars von Trier makes like good but puzzling films.
Yeah.
You ever seen Antichrist?
Ooh, boy.
That's a rough one.
Yep. Dancer in the Dark, which might be one of his most straightforward movies, but perhaps the most depressing movie. The last 10 minutes of that movie, I like to think, just by odds, a movie plays 10,000 theaters in America because, it's not a big budget movie. Maybe it played 5,000. Somebody went on a first date to that movie. Somebody watched Bjork scream and plead for her life before she's executed unjully.
Oh boy.
And then the credits rolled and they had to go eat finger food somewhere. You wanna go to the barcade?
You want to go to
Play Tetris?
Chili's and get some Southwest egg rolls?
Just a woman sobbing into her hands. You could sob for 7 minutes after that movie and you wouldn't be putting anyone out. You deserve it after being just you sitting there patiently waiting. Like, so what should we do next?
Just driving in silence.
Yeah. And then the tears come again. Like, never gonna see her kid. Yeah, sure is a hell of a movie.
I gotta see that.
Sure wish we would have went to Gone Fishing instead.
Fun fact, there was a time in my life I really liked Gone Fishing.
I've never seen it, but I know
Danny
of it.
Glover and
Joe Pesci.
One
of Joe Pesci's last leading man roles.
Yeah, probably the last time or one of the last times he was on a poster.
Yeah. God, what a way to go. Gone Fishing. So yeah, if you've seen the Poseidon Adventure, you've seen this. Who are the people that are with the final group? It's the Simpsons.
Yeah.
And
comic book
guy who has probably the biggest role.
Yeah.
Because that's from the movie where like they need someone to run a rope that they can drag because they have to swim underwater so far.
Yeah.
And there's
the engine room.
Yep. And comic book guy, just like in the movie, I don't know which character does it, but he like, hey, I might not look like much, but in my day, I was a great swimmer. I can do this. And that's what comic book guy does. And he ties the rope so they can lead themselves under. And he gives his life, which is a classic action movie trope that someone sacrifices. They make and they end up being the one that dies from it. So, and then are there any other characters that really?
Sideshow Mel is there late. Like he survives a while. I think Lenny survives a while. But then falls down the ladder, I think. Yeah, it's kind of just the Poseidon Adventure, which is cool, but
The only thing I really got a kick out of this is because that's how the movie. Fuck, man, you've had 47 years to see the Poseidon Adventure. Fuck, spoilers. You've had half a century to see this. They get and like, oh my god, we're fucked. We're just hitting the hull. The water's filling, and then they all of a sudden they hear a torch and someone's cutting.
the rescuers are
Cutting through the hull. And they get out, and they have fucking ghost ship full of the bones of teenage or young boys. It was Bart's ghost ship that landed in Antarctica. They're just putts. Like, is this Tahiti?
That was funny.
So that was the only part of that I found like amusing. You know.
You ever see the film Ghost Ship?
I have with dark-haired. Oh my god! I think she was on ER. She had a short run. Yeah, Juliana Margulies.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure that's her in that movie.
I like Juliana Margulies.
Yeah. I remember like the scene at the beginning of that being pretty gnarly, where they all get killed, like the original people. That's why it's now haunted.
That has one of my favorite. So one of my favorite things to see in movies, and that one is one of my favorite. One of these is the I've been cut in half but don't know it yet scenes. Like, and they do that in that movie.
Yep.
Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil in the laser hallway has a good one. Like, anime does it a ton.
I remember watching that Resident Evil movie in the theater with my buddy Matt. Shout out to Matt. And I was like, they just chopped 75% of the good guys in half with lasers 12 minutes into this movie. Like, that made me more engaged. It's like,
okay.
And then fast forward an hour and 10 minutes. We're almost at the end. I think Mila Jovovich. Am I doing service there?
I believe it's Mia Jovovich, but
we're close.
But it's Mila Jovovich to everyone else.
I think she's been captured, or she is on like some kind of like examination table. My buddy jumped out of his chair as if he had seen a glimpse of the Zapruder film that proved who he. And this is he jumps up and not trying to make me laugh. It just jumps up, points and screams "Pooh Nanner" because he was certain he got a glimpse of her fucking yatch. He thought he had solved everything. The magic eye had come together. He got to see someone's schliz. And he was literally standing. I'm looking at him like, hey, what's the plan now? Like,
now what?
You gonna go to the forum, discuss what you just witnessed? And he just sat back down to watch the movie.
There's about 4 minutes left here.
Yeah, right? It was like and people are staring at us. Pooh Nanner! I am not exaggerating that. Like, and then as soon as did you see your fucking split, dude? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Holy
I think
shit.
you are watching a different movie. I don't think, but you know what? He had a dream.
Holy shit. Split is the most vulgar way to put that I have ever heard.
I hope women use that term amongst each other, like locker room talk. Split is killing me. Gotta get a new seat on my mountain bike.
Holy shit. Get a new seat on my mountain bike.
Walking by the teacher's lounge when you're like in junior high and hearing one of your teachers mutter that to another teacher.
Oh my God. I gotta stop going horseback riding so often.
Just jamming up my splits something fierce. Oof.
Christ on sale. Fun fact, I love those Resident Evil movies. And yes, they're pretty trashy.
Yep.
Like, especially as that series went, because they made like 7 of those fucking things. And eventually, after 3, they become like a whole different thing.
Really?
Like 1, 2, and 3 kind of feel similar, and then 4 through 7 feel like we just fucking went a whole different direction. Like, what if Resident Evil was also The Matrix and just had a Perfect Circle remixes playing all the time?
I've seen the first 3 or 4 of them. I think at least 2 or 3 of them in the theater too. Like, they're a movie. It's like, I don't know why I'm here. I enjoy this though.
Yeah,
it's
I really like those movies. Like, they're the most empty calories, horse shit. Fucking in 4 or 5, Pyramid Head from Silent Hill shows up, and you're like, "What are you? This is the wrong video game movie, bro."
They don't even care anymore.
Yeah. It gets so far away from the video games, and Wesker is just Neo. Like, they're trash. They're horrible, but they're so much fun.
If you handed me the script for one of those and I read it, I'd be like, not only do I not want to watch this, I am mad that it's going to be made, and I will put effort in to make sure this doesn't see the light of day. But I sat down and watched it. I'm into this.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're fun.
I don't...
I think 2 sucks, the second one, but I think 2 is the only one I genuinely dislike. Like, all the rest are are good bad.
Would it be 3 or 4 where they're flying to an island?
I think that's
early
4.
on. Like they're
a lot of it
escaping.
takes place in a prison. Kim Coates is in it. That's the
Coates.
first one where what's his name from the games? Chris Redfield shows up.
See, I know nothing of the games. That's
Climax takes place on a ship.
Okay. I bet I've seen the first. Fuck, I've seen 4 of those fucking movies, man.
3 is the one in the desert. 3's Extinction.
Yep, I've seen that one.
That one, I really like mostly because the guy who played Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat movie is in it.
Yep.
He's like the cowboy sniper that they
You're
send
totally
up
right.
the Eiffel
That
Tower.
is that same guy.
I remember when he first showed up being like, say those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. Say the line. And then punch somebody in the balls.
Yeah, do the splits and punch someone in the bag.
Yep. I like those movies. I'm convinced that those movies only kept getting made because Paul W.S. Anderson was like, I just want to show movies about how hot my wife is.
She's a real pretty lady. He says it like that. Like it's almost like charming. He's like boyish.
As
She's a real
innocent
pretty
as
lady.
possible. Oh, she's pretty.
Sometimes we kiss.
Sometimes smooches.
She's all clearly embarrassed by it.
She's like, Jesus Christ,
He's
Paul.
44. And this is how he acts at home. His cheeks are always rosy because he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's just giving her little pecks.
I did not care for that episode of The Simpsons.
Nope.
Much like nearly all of their anthology episodes that aren't the Halloween ones.
Nope. Yeah.
I don't know why they insist on keeping doing this. I feel like they're trying to make it a thing when it's like, bro, none of these are very good. We don't want it to be a thing.
They're 17 seasons in, whether we like it or not.
And like,
It's a thing. I don't like it.
No, like if this is are you so deep into your bench that you're like, what about boat stories?
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
nautical disasters. What is next?
Like, the Bible was kind of a softball, but
right? Yeah, like
we're all the way down to fucking boat stories.
Oh boy, yeah. To the point now, I'm almost intrigued what the next ones are going to be like.
Boat Stories 2.
Yeah. Oh my God, still floating.
We didn't even mention the Ella Fitzgerald. Edmund Fitzgerald, not Ella Fitzgerald.
I bet
that's a
you said
jazz singer.
Elephants Gerald. When you
Ella Fitzgerald.
I was like, is that what is that like a nursery rhyme? Like
That sounds like Eggs Benedict.
Yeah, like-
is that a way to prepare elephant?
Yeah, it's a man named Gerald came here.
Is that like Bananas Foster?
Yeah.
Episode 19 is Girls Just Wanna Have Sums, which I enjoy because I like that song. I like Girls Just Wanna Have Fun quite a bit. We get a fucking fantastic Itchy and Scratchy the musical that I don't know about you, but I was pretty into.
Yeah.
Like just the production. A, it's just The Lion King.
Yep.
But B, like the production of they're all giant puppets with guys in black clothes and ski masks controlling them. And the red streamers for blood. Like, I enjoyed this whole segment, which goes on quite a while.
Yeah. That's the first 5 minutes, 3 minutes of this episode.
Yeah, they give you a lot of it. And then we're introduced to the director of the musical, Juliana Krellner.
That sounds right.
I think is her name.
Yeah.
She's the director. She's out there thanking folks for coming. Skinner shows up on the side of the stage just like, yeah, she also graduated from Springfield Elementary. Hey. And then like goes on a weird girls aren't good at math rant.
Yeah.
Not even rant, just like stumbles over a few things.
Yeah, just kind of casually drops a couple things.
And folks aren't happy.
They are not at all.
leads to us having a diversity forum at the school. I love the big signs, Springfield Elementary Diversity Forum, and then underneath it, Albanians enter in the back.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Also, been a long time since we've had an Albanians reference
Right?
on The Simpsons. Yeah. What was that, season 1 when they got that exchange student?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Sparrow?
Yes, the Sparrow. Absolutely. What was his name? I want to say Gunter, but that's the little German kid. Anyway. Skinner not helping. He stands up there and stumbles all over himself about, no, I didn't mean girls are bad at math. I meant people think girls are bad at math. And also he's wearing a skirt because we're all the same. And then the crowd's like, he's saying that none of us are unique. No, I'm saying that, he can't win and stumbles all over what he's trying to say. And gets he collapses on stage, like clutches his chest and collapses. Superintendent Chalmers comes out and introduces us to our new principal, Melanie Upfoot, voiced by Frances McDonald.
Oh, or McDormand.
McDormand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
See, look at the Simpsons here, tackling, I don't know, outrage culture 10 plus years before AM talk
before
radio
we ever knew about it.
Full of it.
Yeah. They decide that they're going to split the school into a boys' school and a girls' school, which seems like a bad idea. Lisa is, of course, on the girls' school side and not into it because she wants to learn, but they're just doing like real hippy-dippy, everyone's the best at everything
Picture you're
shit.
the number, you know? Like,
like, how do numbers make you feel? And she's like, I just want to learn math.
We get a Kathy appearance in the girls' school, too.
Oh, we do. Yes.
I was very happy about that.
I'll bet you were. We can't lead this down a comic strip road again after last week. Lisa escapes over to the boys' side. She wants to eavesdrop on them and see what they're learning about, and they're learning real math. And the boys' side of the school is a fucking hellscape.
Like a legit war zone. Like, there's like a downed helicopter, which is so great.
There's a downed helicopter. There's graffiti. All the grass is torn up and burnt. There's a wolf.
Yeah. Skinner's now assistant groundskeeper Skinner.
Yep, which I really liked. Groundskeeper Willie sends him out to poison the squirrels, but the squirrels overpower Skinner and hold him down and pour the poison jug down his throat. Jesus.
This is a rough world.
So Lisa goes home and is like, this isn't fair. Like, the boys are getting a real math education, and I'm stuck in the girls' school, and that's not fair. Marge dresses Lisa up like a boy and sends him to school. Sends her to school. Her name that she has chosen for herself is Jake Boyman, which is a fantastic joke.
Yeah.
She's really liking the math, but not at all the boys' environment.
Oof, yeah.
It is a fucking Mad Maxian.
How early on they're calling her toilet is so good.
Immediately branded with a bad nickname.
A little bit of toilet paper on your shoe. Oh, I guess you're right, huh? Yeah, we're going to call you toilet. It's everyone in unison.
There's some pretty decent interactions with Milhouse of like... Oh, I'm glad we don't have any girls around anymore. And Lisa being like, well, I heard that Lisa Simpson's pretty cool. And Milhouse just like, yeah, we had a thing, but you can't pin the Milhouse down, man. It's like, fuck it. God damn it, Milhouse. Jake Boyman is beaten up by Nelson.
Because Jake gets up fast from being repulsed by Milhouse and pushes Nelson's plate into him with full of spaghetti. And that's when he goes, that was my eating food.
Yeah.
To imply there's other foods besides the ones he eats.
Yeah, like throwing food.
Throwing food, yeah.
Because the lunchroom is a fucking war
Insanity.
zone. Holy shit.
Yeah, I had to pause and look at every little thing going on. Like,
there's a lot
kid
happening.
Lapping milk off the floor, like in the far back corner. Like,
so Lisa, who's just gotten beaten up by Nelson, which is fucked up. Is at home having a good cry. Bart walks in, finds out that she is Jake Boyman.
I have a comment about this episode. At this point in the episode, I've seen it every once in a while. In this scene where they're in Lisa's bedroom, there's still a frame picture of that like elf thing on the. Remember that like from like seasons 1 or 2. Lisa likes some kind of happy elf cartoon.
Oh, yes, the elf cartoon
I
that she's
like
into.
that they still put a frame picture of that in her
that's
bedroom.
Funny.
Like,
I don't think I caught it.
Going back 15 plus years now. Like,
yeah, I think later on that was Maggie's favorite show, wasn't it?
I think it maybe was. Yeah, where she's watching it.
Yeah, we've seen that. Boy, it's been a long time since we've seen that. Bart is going to coach Lisa on how to be a boy, which is just to be a fucking dirtbag, really.
Like food off the ground.
Yeah, like if you're a boy and you're eating French fries, 2 out of 5 should get in your mouth. And the ones on the ground are even better because they're full of dirt or whatever. So part of this learning, I guess you would call it, on Lisa's part is that she has to beat up Ralph, which is so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Like she goes marching up to like, give me your lunch money. Okay. And just holds it out. And she fucking slugs him and he cries and runs away.
One of the bullies utters the line, "You just beat up the most harmless kid in school."
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, man. Yeah, she's immediately accepted into the group because she beat up poor Ralphie Wiggum. And then she goes on stage because she wins an award for math and, like, does her fucking shtick of takes off the wig and glasses and, baha, it's me. You're the best person at math in this school is a girl. And then, like, there's a weird, she kind of gives a middling speech about, like, because Bart kind of tries to protest, like, yeah, but the only reason you were good at math is because you were over here on the boys' side, which means boys are better. And they, like, have this quick little back and forth, and then the episode is over.
Yep.
Like, ends out of nowhere and no one learned anything, is what I gathered.
Martin comes out to accept his, like, flutist award.
His flautist award, yeah.
Lisa brains him with a chair.
Yeah, hits him with a chair.
Still got a little of that boy in her.
Yeah, she's still in boy mode. She at one point she hucks her math award at Bart, but hits Ralphie who
again.
cries again.
Oh yeah.
I
do like her like I used to think being a boy is easy. Being a boy is the worst thing ever, which in many ways it was.
Yeah,
I remember a friend that was transitioning to being a man. Like a friend, I didn't know him that well, but they had a thing on Facebook. It's just like everyone, like now that I'm a man and I go to the gym and everyone's judging me like how much weight I can lift. And someone used the line, men are judged by their ability to inflict violence on each other. It's like, holy shit, that's a dark way to look at it. Yep. Ain't wrong. We're just balls of meat violence. There's what is there? 3.5 million angry meatballs wandering the world right now, just capable of unspeakable violence. Like, yeah, like when that was said, it's like that's interesting. And then all the other people like, yeah, it's like, welcome to being a boy. Yeah. I remember that since about age 4, being criticized because I wasn't able to sufficiently be scary.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have it in my heart to whoop the shit out of a kid half my size, so I must be gay. Yeah, that's how that worked.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Kid's fun.
Yeah, everything's great.
Everything's great.
Everything's the way everyone's raising their boys is great.
Yeah, doing an A+ job out there. Yeah. Episode 20, regarding Margie, which I think is for regarding Henry, which is a movie I haven't seen.
Okay, neither have I, so I didn't get it.
Exciting news. It's a real deal. Regarding Henry, God, I was going to say, is that a Harrison Ford movie? But Jesus, I'm fucking drawing at straws here. Episode starts with Milhouse, Bart, and Nelson doing the house number curb painting scam, which I've seen in some form.
Really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
But not as kids. It's just like two drifters show up at your house
and paint
say,
your house numbers on the curb.
Your house number on your curb, so it's easier for people to find it. So $10, please. And the thing is, like, I will give them $10 so that these people are not on my porch.
Leave my home.
Yep. Yeah.
Huh. I thought this was an original Simpsons thought, but I guess not.
And as someone who has driven Uber in the past, I wish the house numbers were easier to see.
Fuck my ass, man! I wish every house had giant glowing numbers on the side of it.
Why are they so hard to fucking see?
Especially at night.
Yep.
Like,
insane.
Put a fucking porch light. Do something.
Yep.
Luminescent paint.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah. Trying to find a house number sucks.
And I just think there's something almost like wholesome and old-timey about 3 10-year-old boys doing this scam. Like, I just can't picture today's...
Nope.
First, I just can't picture 3 10-year-olds allowed to just run amok for a day. Kids are more shepherded now, but like... I can't imagine a 10-year-old. I just don't even imagine kids caring about money.
Right.
Like, I just picture kids fucking, I don't know, on TikTok or whatever kids do nowadays. Jesus, I sound like Grandpa Nathan.
You sound like you're 1,000.
In a finished basement fucking doing that floss and dance on TikTok. That's all they want to do all day, every day.
I'm with you, though, that this has a real, like, wholesome, old-timey, like, Tom Sawyer quality to it that I'm pretty into.
And they try to do it to Homer, but he is very stubborn. He's like, nope. Well, you're going to have just this 7-4. I don't care. I'll work with it.
Yeah, they don't put the 2 on. They don't finish it.
He makes it into a tribute to the 74 Oakland Athletics, which pull up in a convertible. And it's like, hey, that guy's giving us some respect. Hey, thanks, man. Give him a good horn honk. Like, that joke screamed prime era Simpsons or something that off the wall.
Like, this felt like a joke for you.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, I bet Nathan's really gonna like this joke. It does nothing for me, but I bet Nathan really likes this one.
I didn't really laugh that much, but just like, what the fuck? They just, because that's 1994, 95 era Simpsons was full of shit like that. Like,
yeah. We also, like, I feel like we don't very often anymore get things that Homer thinks are cool.
Yep.
Like his music choices in the car, or like this, I love the 74 A's. Like, I feel like we don't get a lot of that anymore. This felt good.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And this whole, the reasoning behind this is, so now the Simpsons number for their house is goofed up. So they start getting the mail of some kind of upper class, I would say, couple.
Yeah, someone above them, whoever it is.
Because originally they get some steaks delivered, and Homer, of course, lies and says that they're for them. He gets to enjoy these delicious free steaks. They go to some rando couple's wedding.
Yeah, just get a wedding invitation.
I like how Marge is all for this.
Yeah, strangers getting married, count me in.
Yep, so Marge is all about it. And Marge ends up winning a contest to have professionals clean her house for free.
Yep.
And that's when Marge, so she's going to have people come clean her house. So, of course, she decides that she needs to make her house spotless.
Insane.
Which
Marge.
I could see my parents doing that.
Like, I want a cleaning service, but I don't want them to see my house dirty. Yep. So at one point, she's on her knees with a Q-tip cleaning out a lock in a door. Like, holy shit.
My dad used to make the beds at a hotel. I mean, not like army but like put all the bedding in. It's like, my mom, like, they're just going to strip the beds anyhow. We've already slept in them. It's, we don't want to look like we're, like.
What they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, also, think of the shit they have seen.
Yeah, literal shit. Just a huge mound of shit, and it's perfectly centered, like measured with a compass. It's so perfectly centered, like it's part of like a religious ceremony. It's a huge mound of some random animal shit.
You think they're going to be put off by the fact that you didn't make the bed before you left?
Or make sure, I mean, there's some of it is being nice, like picking up all the wrappers or anything or shit like that.
Yeah, there's common courtesy shit, like put the garbage in the garbage,
but like,
for sure.
Cleaning the countertops and stuff, it's like, they're going to do all this again.
Yeah, like you're not saving them time.
We don't want to look like bores, I'm sure is what was said.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's like, come on, man. 1 out of 5 of these people has found a body.
Yeah, right? This month. So Marge is cleaning. She's I got to make sure that the kitchen's even more clean. They're almost here because she's like, I can't remember what she says. Don't let those bastards in. I got to clean the kitchen some more. So while cleaning the kitchen, she inhales a bunch of cleaning solvent fumes and passes out and bangs her head on a stool.
In the $1 Million Baby shot.
Yep.
Which I think that's a pretty decent movie up until that. When that happens in that movie, I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Yep. This is a dumb fucking movie.
Oh, it's so when she has to get her fucking leg cut off. Oof. It is. That's another terrific date movie.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah. She tries to swallow her own tongue. Man.
That movie's pretty good until then. And I'm like,
it's a laugh riot.
Done. I'm done.
Sometimes I enjoy that movie, but sometimes I can't have something that lighthearted. I need something more serious. It's like, I get it. So Marge wakes up in the hospital and finds out she's been stricken with amnesia, which does not last immediately, though. Like, she starts to kind of like recognize like the kids pretty much first and foremost.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Maggie in particular.
Yeah, that when she gets back home, she hears the suck noise of Maggie. That was my suck noise.
Okay.
There are a couple great scenes where they're driving back home, and I think they're at a stop sign or a red light, and it's a chicken fight between Sideshow Mel, Bumblebee Man, Duff Man, and the Sea Captain.
Yeah.
And she's like, who are these people? Homer's, and they're just fun parts of our community.
Yeah, just fun characters.
And then she pulls up. It's like, why is that drug addict driving a school bus? It's such a good line.
And Otto has to be like, what? I care about these kids, but he turns around and the back door is open and there's no kids left in the bus.
Emergency doors open. The kids have been long gone. Just the door just moving in the wind. So they're back home. Marge recognizes Maggie. Then Lisa starts talking. She's like, oh, my little know-it-all. And then Milhouse comes over and goes, well, guess who's lactose tolerant? And that reminds her of Bart. But and Homer tries.
Yeah.
Homer tries to wow her and refresh her memory, but Marge just can't. That memory's erased. And
by the way, poor Bart, that she only remembers him through Milhouse.
Yep, so good. Yeah. Like, yeah, right? Like, no, nothing exciting about me or loving.
Nothing.
No,
like, you only remember me because Milhouse is here.
Well, I find it very off-putting when Marge calls Homer Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like that.
I don't like it at all.
So Homer, again, he's trying, and then nothing's working. And, of course, Patty and Selma, they smell blood in the water, and they decide they're going to help Marge find a new man. Oh, my God. Oh, one of his attempts, Homer's attempts to refer, he brings her back to the golf course where they first made whoopee many a year ago.
The castle at the putt.
And she, not only does she not remember it, she's repulsed by it and angered at him for bringing her there.
I would never. I'm not that kind of woman. Yep. It's like, Marge, yeah, you are.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, I will rarely, if ever, have said this. Marge is being too hard on Homer in this episode. Think of it from his shoes.
Yeah.
Your spouse of 25 years no longer remembers you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Geez. And he is trying. He's not even shithead.
No.
I mean, he ain't doing it perfect, but he's at least has his heart's in the right place.
He's doing what he can. He like starts from scratch and they go on a date.
Yeah.
Like,
how fucking great is it when they're at that golf course, the miniature golf course, that after their whole blowout, the camera pans and then Skinner and Krabappel crawl out.
Yeah.
She threw Skinner a goddamn birthday pity screw at a miniature golf course. I love that woman so much.
Yeah.
And when it's so harsh, it's like, I still think about you all the time. Your birthday is over. It's like, what the fuck?
And just walks away.
Yeah,
with her fuck hair and everything.
Yeah,
just walks away.
Lighting a ciggy. My God.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for Edna.
Oh, I love Edna. So again, Patty and Selma, they're smelling blood in the water. They decide to drive Marge in their goddamn Volkswagen thing,
which is a rad car,
which is insane. That's their daily driver, to like a speed dating. And there's some good gags there too with the speed dating, like all the maniacs and duds she meets right away.
Yeah, all of the like the one dude being like, "It's been, sorry if I'm weird. It's been 5 years since my wife left. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, why'd I have to kill her? Like, what?"
And then she meets a guy that they kind of, hey, this is weird. I think it's weird too. And he's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my brothers. Basically, Patty and Selma clones.
Yeah.
So, like, the alarm just went off. It's a shame we have to switch. Why are we having to switch? We're adults. Let's go grab a coffee. Like, I like that. They leave. And then it's like Patty and Selma reflecting upon, I just love to see romance. And those two twins come over and ask them if they want to go have some champagne, and they flip out. Like,
yeah, they're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
I think what refers to them as Asanova.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. My favorite part of that whole speed dating scene was when the lady who's running it is like telling him the rules. Like, every 5 minutes I hit this horn and the guy moves to the next table. And any questions? And the one lady who's participating goes, "Hey, how did you meet your husband?" And she looks her dead in the face and goes, "I met him through a friend, like a normal person."
So good.
Holy shit, that's so good.
Yeah.
To just fucking dunk on this speed dating person.
And just go right back into her spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's Lenny or Carl alerts Homer to what's going on.
Yeah, because they were there.
Yeah. It's like on the pier or something. They're like on a patio of some kind. And Homer rushes out there. He's like crawling in the rocks to try to eavesdrop on the. He gets hit by a wave. He's covered in like seaweed and starfish.
Yeah.
Just total hopeless Homer. And those two, the sparks are flying. I do not like it. Marge, you're a married lady, even though you don't remember him. And it's like everything's going good. It's like, well, I just think we could tell each other anything. We can say anything. And Marge's like, okay, I am an amnesiac with 3 children, which is such a great line. It's like, okay, 2 things. One, that is so brave, and I whatever about mental illness, and 2, have a good day.
And leaves, just bails.
Yeah. And that's when Swamp Monster Homer confronts him, like, "You're leaving the best stuff." And it was like really touching. So, like, there's a light in her that makes everyone better. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Right now? Homer's just like, "You really blew it," you know, like
Jesus,
lecturing this guy.
He's gonna start crying pretty soon. Didn't think that was coming. So he's still the new guy's still like, "Later, dude," and he leaves. But Marge apparently saw all this, and she goes up and talks to Swamp Homer, like, "You know, I don't know you, but apparently you sure think a lot about me." And it's like that's more than whatever. And she is back with Homer, and they are in the car heading back home. And then like, we want to go get a drink. It's like, "Oh, I don't know. That's like, I don't drink. Do you drink?" I just started when you had amnesia.
Yeah.
And then they had this new thing called beer, and she hears beer. That brings her back.
That's what snaps her out of it.
I thought that was a good thing. Like, you drink all the time.
And as they're driving away, like, he swerves a little, and she goes, "You've been drinking today, haven't you?" I thought that was a good joke.
I effing loved this episode.
Yeah?
Loved it. Like,
I really liked the story. I didn't think there were a lot of jokes for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I was laughing a lot. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Like, from again, not a lot of just on my ass laughing, but just, I was like, fuck this. Like, this could have happened. This episode could have been season 7, and it would have fit in for me.
Yeah, that's true. It did feel kind of like an old one.
Just for me, I was laughing rapid fire a lot through this.
Yeah. I did like it, but it's not because I thought it was funny. It's because I just thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't see a good Homer very often. You know, we don't see a kind of shitty Marge very often.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like,
so
a little Patty and Selma, that's always good.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And there was another good during the speed dating, like I don't make $1 million. I don't drive a Ferrari. I'm just a man who makes a comfortable living. That's probably not good enough for you.
God, that was fucking funny.
I'm trying to think what her response was to him. Like, Because that's...
I don't remember.
Yeah. It's like the rogues gallery of duds.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I've never once even considered going on speed dating. I bet that's a fucking nightmare.
Nor have I. I have a friend who his parents made an agreement with him that they would pay for him to go to college after fucking off for like first 9 years of adulthood. But he was 27 or 28. But the rule was he had to live in the dorms. That was part of the agreement. Since he was technically a freshman because he never passed any classes his first week, he had to live in the freshman dorms. So he was like 27 or 20, living with some people that were 17.
Oh boy.
So he became the novelty of the dorms. And he is the kind of guy that can lean into awkwardness. So there was speed dating in the freshman dorm.
Oh, Christ.
And he went to it. And he would just plop down. Or I think actually the women moved, and they would sit down, look at him. I was like, and he would yeah, I'm 28. What's your major? And I would let the awful unpleasantness just hang in the air as these poor girls waited for the dinger to go off. So I think he made it one semester. Some birds can't be caged.
That's a fun power move for sure.
Holy shit. And he was a hard 28 too. He was shaped like the bald-headed guy on King of the Hill. Like he had a 45-year-old man's body.
Oh, shit. Well, that's another week, buddy. We did it. We're almost done now with season 17 of The Simpsons.
2 episodes left, I think.
2 left. Next week, we will do episodes 21 and 22, the final 2.
We got this shit.
I don't know how it happened. How is season 17 over already? Mm-hmm. Like, this one really cooked, I feel like.
Like our babies. They're growing up too quick.
Yeah. So we'll do 21 and 22, and then 1, 2, and 3 of 18.
18, think
you know
of
who's
that.
on the box cover of 18?
Ooh.
Fat Tony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're digging deep.
Cutting deep into that Simpsons deck right now.
Yeah. So we'll do that next week. We have you and I are telling jokes this weekend.
Goddamn right we are.
Again, we're out. We're
out there. All of the smallest bars in rural North Dakota cannot escape us. They tried. Oh, do they try? But
we'll do them. Don't act like we won't.
Don't act like we won't.
Yeah. We will be, Jamestown on Thursday.
Yeah.
Maddock on Friday.
At the Maddock Opera House.
At the Maddock Opera House. I'm very excited.
I hope you bring your
show.
little binoculars on a stick.
I always do.
You do, right? Then finally, they won't be so out of place.
Yeah. And
Chaffee or Chafee, the Bronco Bar.
Yeah, on Saturday.
If you are somehow in any of those towns.
Right, yes.
Oh my God, if you were, that would be so amazing.
That's what I want. I want somebody to show up to one of these who've never seen us do stand-up, but listen to the podcast.
Yeah. I was just in Chaffee for work. I'm like, I can literally see both ends of this town. What do you do for work? There are 4 buildings with electricity.
You know what I really want? I was thinking of this earlier. I really want someone in Columbus, one of those fucking angel people in Columbus, Ohio, that have pumped our numbers like they have.
Our angel babies at Columbus, I love you so much.
To reach out and get us semi-connected with a bar or somewhere in Columbus, because I want you and I to go play Columbus.
I will drive to Columbus. I will lose money on that trip just to do it.
Yeah, we'll lose money on that trip.
Oh,
Fuck
my
it.
God, yeah.
Like, that's a fucking poke out to Columbus, Ohio.
Damn right.
But that'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I would be so happy to do that.
So
I want to say something. You have embraced NHL in the last couple months.
I have, yeah.
How did you not choose the Columbus Blue Jackets as your team? Just as a way of saying thank you to our Columbus
I sure
listeners.
could have, yeah. Yep, honestly, I don't think it ever once occurred to me.
Yeah, that's a random-ass team.
That is a fucking random-ass team.
Yeah.
Like, I picked Winnipeg because they're close by.
Oh. Maybe that could be your Eastern Conference team.
Sure. I don't have an Eastern Conference team. I thought it was going to be the Devils because I think Satan is rad, but the Devils suck dick. So I don't think it's
But think
gonna
about
be
when
the
they finally
Devils.
turn it around, how sweet that juice will be, brother.
Yeah.
Some of us have been following teams like that for decades. One of these years, it's going to happen.
That is true. Also, the Devils have some of the coolest merch.
I just want to see the Vikings lose a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Someday, buddy.
Just lose one.
Not this year.
Oh, not in the next 5.
So, yes, if you're in Columbus, please reach out to us, either on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at BarleyBasketUSA, or email us, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. We want to be in touch with our Columbus people, and we want to do a stand-up show in Columbus, Ohio.
If you can get us a show lined up,
Ireland?
I have good enough credit that I would be willing to ruin for a trip to Ireland.
Oh, absolutely. I'll fly a flight to Ireland? Hell yeah. I'll bomb my credit for that.
Yep, let's do it.
I'll max out a card.
Yep.
I'll max out a couple of cards probably to get to Ireland and back.
I've never left North America.
Now's the time.
Your boy needs to get transatlantic.
Get it. I've never been over that ocean. I've been over the other one. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, man, that would be something.
What a tour. Columbus, Ohio, and Ireland.
Yeah. What other oddball towns could we hit up?
That we have like followers in, or big Birmingham, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, Washington, D.C.
Oh, man.
We're hot in all them
Shout out to
towns.
our DC listeners. I'm all about that.
Yeah, let's go on an ABB tour.
Yeah.
We'll get a beer sponsorship. It'll be ABV with ABB. We're title pending. We'll work on that. So we'll go tell jokes. Y'all get in touch with us, and we'll set up some stand-up shows.
We're going to make that happen. No.
Yeah, let's do it.
Multiple fingers crossed.
And what is it? 21 and 22 of season 17 and 1, 2, and 3 of season 18 for next week. Everyone enjoy yourselves.
Bye, everybody.